Hi guys, it's the time again, Sugarbush Terrors 2025. Here we go. Now we're gonna do the big guys. Here's the Scarecrow from Laura, Tyler, Tina, and Tanner. Jack Skellington, the Werewolf and Mortal Werewolf. Levitating Reaper. The Hovering Witch, which something is wrong with her head, her eyes and mouth. And the Cockshow Reaper, which hopefully this year he actually goes off. Perfect. Okay, now we're gonna start to go to the tanks. Here is Dr. Payne. Yeah! And Young He Inflatable. Carnival Barker. Now into the garage. Here's Mixer Punksy. Here's this hanging clown from Walmart. Uncle Charlie. Peekaboo Clown. Ration Clown. Towering Clown. Bobby Strings. Monkey Business. Here is the Five Below Clown. Crouchy, which we raised up. Dagger Mike just jumped up. Here's the Haunted Hill Farm Clown. Lucky Bottoms. Peekaboo Clown. Pennywise. Lucky Liz. Waving Wally. Sinister Chief. Dead Humor. He pops up fast. Now into the carnival tent. Here we have Ringmaster greeting you and welcoming you to the entire carnival. Here is Silent and Deadly. Pale Girl. Art the Clown. Heckles. Head Case Harry.
Did you know that every clown is bad?
Ice Cream Clown. Slim. Shorty with the boxing gloves this year. Stricture Trio. They turned off because of their timer went off. Here's KG. The Pneumatic Clown. Harriet Hustle. Henry Hustle. Candy Creep. Bullseye. Door Swallower. And right here is where I was standing scaring people. Okay, now here is Jack the Reaper, but he follows you around. Okay, now to the backyard. Here's Bubba from Buggy and Uncle Luke's. Now the graveyard. Gramps. Haunted Hill Farm goats. Twix your grandma. Five Below Reaper. Five Below Reaper from last year. Fire Demon. Here's Grim. Here's Shelly, his dog, and his cat. There's Grim's dog. There is the Winged Reaper. The Zombie Trio, which their timer also turned off. Here's Grave Watcher. Here's the Puking Skeleton that my uncle made, and he let us borrow him again this year. Grave Robber also turned off with the timer. Here's the Big Lock Zombie, but I don't think he'll go off. No. Emmeline. The Pneumalic Woman. Bloody Ghost Trick-or-Treater. Here is Target Skeleton, Dabber Skeleton, Baby Rattles, 15-foot Worry Crow, Cock Show Rattles, and 15-foot Galley Crow. Here is the Hitchhiking Goats. Don't want to play too much because of copyright. Here's the Night. Okay, now into the Strobe tent. Here's Torture Boss Woman. I don't think you could even see her here. There's Torture Boss Woman. She's broken from, as you could see from last year. There's Rising Woman. We didn't have time to plug her in, but she works. And around the corner is this guy, which is my dad. Here's my dad dressed up.
Get out of here.
Now, leaving the Strobe tent, we have this Crouching Werewolf from Troy. Here's the Talking Tree. Here's my two Fear Valley wolves. I call them the fur balls because they're super furry. You probably can't see, but the tails actually move. Here's the Talking Tree. Now into the woods. We didn't have time for Mega Wolf this year, sadly, because of all the crazy wind we had this year. So going into the woods, we have these hanging guys, which we had last year. We have the Thunder Strobes. And then all the way at the end, we have the Big Lost Werewolf, same shot from last year. Please work. Yeah! Okay, now exiting the woods, we have these two bodies. And here is the Leatherface theme. Here's Hack and Heidi.
when I saw what she had done,
Buzzsaw.
I thought
Leatherface. Come on, Leatherface. We'll come back. Here's the pneumatic leg, which we got from East Coast Honkers Convention. This thing is insane. Look at, we had to build this contraption. Oh, there goes Leatherface. Yeah. Here we got the Home Depot barber, which, same thing. He turned off because of the timer. Now over here, we got the extension of the graveyard. Here's Victorian Vampire. Here's Boogeyman. Now the Wednesday theme. Here's Wednesday. Don't want to play too much because of copyright. Here's Joseph Crackstone. Oh, cousin it. Also don't want to play copyright. Come on, Crackstone. We gotta ship him because of copyright. Here's the sheath. Oh, there goes Crackstone. I gotta talk over him because the cousin it, this song playing is so loud. The fog does work on him, but the fog machine probably ran out of juice. Here's Captain Cucks. Here's the Lowe's Servo Seawix. Here's Cthulhu. Which all those are blocking his sensor, so we can't get him on. My dad's probably gonna get him on now. But here's the pirate. There he goes. Here's the zombie fisherman. Here's the Lowe's gargoyle. We didn't have time to plug him in, but there he is. Now we're going into the laboratory. Here's the 12-foot scientist.
I need more subjects for my experiments. Perhaps you would be willing.
Now into the lab, we have Contaminated Kid. Which we didn't have time for to put fog on him. There's Rick Radman, Mutant Sewer Rat, Miss Mercy, the Bride of Frankenstein, and Frankenstein. These two are awesome. There's Miss Mercy. These two are awesome. Here's the Goblin from Uncle Jeff, but sadly, this right here broke and wires started to rip off. Now, we're gonna go to the pumpkin patch. So, here is this little head, Reaper head from Dawn and Frank. Here's the Servo pumpkin. Here's the pumpkin patch. Gordo, Sinister Souls, Soul Slasher, Night Terror, Sitting Scarecrow. Now, here's the Home Depot Troll. Everyone loves this guy. Now to the witches. Here's Lily. Here's the Lowe's Witch. Marionette Witch. Cauldroness, which her arm is breaking. The fog also does work on her, but it's just not on. There's the Cracker Barrel floating witch head. Here's the Home Depot Witch Duo for 2025 version. Here's Nightshade Witch. Gotta fix her head. Her head is always. There's her. Now here's Evil Holiday. Here we got Terrifier Santa Claus. I love this guy. Jack Frost. Krampus. We forgot to take those off of his beard. Here's Yoda. Scrooge. Here's the Home Depot Leprechaun. Now to the last two sections. Here's the Psider theme. Here's this jumping Psider from Dave. Here's this other jumping Psider from Dave. Jumps out as you like that. Here's Wanda Webworth. And here's my first ever animatronic, the brown jumping Psider. Now, Emily and Victor. We got this for super cheap at Lowe's on percent this year for the sales.
With this hand, I will lift your sorrow.
Now into the people tent. Here we have Jacob Sage. You probably can't hear them, but because I put them very quiet. Dean the Deathologist. Marie the Maid. Now we're gonna go inside the house. But before we go inside, I have one more jump scare to show you guys. Oh! Here's my uncle. Okay, now in here we have the old animatronics, which we didn't have time to put out. Party Monster, the Jemmy Colton Witch, Heads Up Harry from Dawn and Frank, and his eyes actually started working, which is awesome. And here's Baby Heads Up Harry, and here's Zoltan. Here's this purple tree. Here is this little section in the foyer with this, the creepy girl, and the creepy boy. These purple lights. One of my Jabbering Jacks. Here's the talking troll from Home Depot last year. Now, into the pumpkin patch. But first, here's one of my Ultrix Shellys. I didn't have time to program him, but here's this prismatic pumpkin from Party City. Here's this pumpkin. This soul, which berries are very dead. It's barely moving. And here is the indoor pumpkin patch with all the tabletop pumpkin patches. Here we have the dancing skeleton projection. My second jabbering jack. All this lights all around here. And this flaming pumpkin but the timer turned off on that. Here's my second Ultra Shelly. Also didn't have time. Here is Chucky and Tiffany. Come on, Tiffany. Well, here's Chucky. Oh, her timer went off. I forgot. She has the timer sensor too. Here is this little Dixo light with a sign all on the ceiling. Chucky. Eek the cat. Here's Rockin' Jack. Here's the rip-off Jabbering Jack from Big Lots 2025. The new Big Lots. Here's the Haunt the TV from TJ Maxx. The face comes out. Here's this buckler. Here's this little light up thing. Now I'm gonna show you the Psuki Town. Here are this prismatic pumpkin, this pumpkin, and all these lights turned off because of the timer. Here's this fiber optic cat, fiber optic scarecrow. And here's this little crystal ball with that cool illusion. This tree, the timer turned off. The witches, these goats from Five Below, which are awesome. Their timers also turned off. Here's the squeaking and creaking tree. But sadly, something happened to it today and it's not moving now. So now I gotta figure out what's wrong with this. So now it's time for the Psuki Town. Here we go. Most of these are from Grandma and Papa, and a lot of them I also bought. Do it slowly so you can see. That's clicking. The boat, the brain, which is a rubber brain. Last year I said silicone, I don't know what I was talking about. It's rubber or latex, whatever. Here's the lab one. And here's this. The dungeon is broken yet again this year. Don't know what happened. This witch one here, I don't know why it's off, but now we are going to my Halloween tree, where all the awesome Hallmark ornaments. These Hallmark ornaments are awesome, and I got the full Haunted Mansion set, which goes for like 7 minutes, which is awesome. All I need is the other house, then I fully completed it. Here's the Jack Sultan Laboratory one. I'll demo it. They interact.
You've come back.
I had to.
That's twice this month you've slipped deadly nightshades
Okay.
to my tea and run off.
3 times.
You're
Here is this homemade ghost I actually made. My grandma sent me a video of how to make this. All this is a tomato sand, a styrofoam ball, and just tablecloths and wire for these arms. And obviously lights. And this looks really good. I actually made 2 faces and 2 signs, but I don't know where the signs and other faces are. So here's this little display back here. Let me turn this on. Here's the Michaels Ghost Popping Out Tune song. Here's this pumpkin. I got this at Goodwill like a couple years ago, I think. Here is the Michaels Haunted Tree, which also is almost dead from batteries.
I'm an old oak tree. I was once tall and strong. Now I'm cursed to be decayed and sing a death song.
Whoa, he almost fell there. Here's this little clock, which the batteries are dead on. Here's the Honkleys, but it's not on because the timer. This is also the witch projection, which projects a witch in a moon that flies in and out of the moon, which is really cool. Those are not on though because the timer has turned off. Now, that is everything for my 2025 Sugarbuzz Terrace Haunt. Thank you guys for watching, and bye guys.